Hey, it's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach, and it's Real Talk Friday. If you're a parent, or maybe even in school you hear this, you tell your kid, you be your own person. Don't be influenced by peer pressure. I mean, we say that all the time. But here's the crazy part. As adults, we kind of do the same thing. We honestly do. You know, Peter's a good example of someone that essentially gave into peer pressure, if you would. And so let's go to John 18, verse 15. Simon Peter and another disciple were following Jesus. Because this disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus into the high priest's courtyard. But Peter had to wait outside. The other disciples, who was known to the high priest, came back, spoke to the servant girl on duty there, and brought Peter in. She says, "Aren't you one of the man's disciples too, aren't you?" She asked Peter. He replied, "I am not." It was cold, and the servant and officials stood around a fire that they had made to keep warm. Peter also was standing with them, warming himself. See, Jesus already said that, "Peter, you'll deny me 3 times. Peter said, "I would not." Teacher, I would not. And so his motive was different. It wasn't to look cool. It was so something bad would not happen to him. And so because of that pressure, essentially, he denied Jesus. And so when we talk about, don't be influenced, don't give in to peer pressure. If everyone else jumped off a cliff, would you jump off the cliff? But you know what? We need to look in the mirror, because even as adults, I think we struggle being who we really are. We want to conform to society because everyone else is doing it. Think about this. You want to dress like everyone. You want to act like everyone else. You compare yourself to people on Facebook. That is not called being an individual. I always say this, man, you've got to be okay with how you ride your tractor. And people are like, "Man, Rick, I don't even know what that means." It means this. You need to be okay with how God created you as an individual. That it's Christ himself that you are trying to be in right standing with, not society. Kind of like Peter. Peter denied Jesus. But if he would have stood and just say, "Yes, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ." The truth is, we don't even do that. Most of us do not do that. We're embarrassed to say that we're a Christ follower. Straight up. And so we're going to do what everyone else is doing. Again, giving into peer pressure. Man, there comes a time that you got to be cool riding your tractor. You got to be okay being an individual, a child of the King, that he created you in his image, and he created you specifically like you are. But you don't like how you are. Maybe you do, but you're embarrassed to admit it. Be honest today. Are you okay with how you ride your tractor? Or are you trying to be like everybody else? Ministry is the same thing. A lot of times we want to look at other ministries, and because of what they're doing, we want to do it. I take a lot of pride with Rock Bottom Outreach that we're not like that. So, well, you need a building. No, we don't need a building. Well, they're doing this. I don't care if they're doing that. We're going to do what God has called us to do, because that's who we're trying to honor. We're not trying to impress someone else by looking like someone else. It's a lot easier just to conform to society, but it takes a strong person, a person of strong character, to be who they are, without regard to what anybody thinks about them. Remember, you're not responsible for your reputation, only your character. How do you ride your tractor? And are you okay with how that looks? Hey, it's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach. It's been Real Talk Friday. Go ride your tractor, baby.